Hi everybody, in previous class you already discussed about underground stem modification. Now in this video I want to go to discuss about another modification. That one is subaerial stem modification. You know already the stem modifications are categorized into three. What are they? The first one is underground stem modification, second one is subaerial stem modification, third one aerial stem modification. Okay. This subaerial stem modification. All subaerial stem modifications are mainly useful for vegetative propagation. Remember this one? All subaerial stem modifications are mainly useful for vegetative propagation. That means they are helpful for vegetative reproduction. Understand? The first one is runner. Okay? Runner. Runner. It is the stem is grow and spread on the surface of the soil. This one is the soil surface. Understand? Next one, roots are developed at lower side of the node. This means suppose this one is the one of the runner plant. Okay, the stem is grow and spread on the surface of the soil. On the surface of the soil. Understand? Surface of the soil. Next one, roots are developed at lower side from nodes. The lower side of the nodal region consists or bears roots. Understand? These are the roots. Okay. Next one, leaves are developed at upper side from the node. And this leaves are developed from upper region of the node. Okay. In this way, the stem is grow and spread on the surface of the soil, run on the surface of the soil, and also root arises from every nodal region of the lower side at lower node. Next one, the upper side of the node develop leaves. Leaves are developed at the upper side. Okay, these are called runners. This one is runner. Understand? If these internodal region cut, okay, if this internodal region is cut, the node is separated and leave as a individual plant. Understand? So this runner is mainly helpful for vegetative propagation. So every nodal region consists of some advances root are developed. If this runner is breakdown or internodal region is breakdown from the mother plant, the separated nodal region as live as individual organism, individual plant. This type of plants are known as runners. They are helpful for mainly vegetative propagation. Understand? The best example is oxalis. Next one is stolon. It arises from the base of the main stem. This one is the main stem. The stolons are mainly arising from the base of the main stem. Base of the main stem. This means the basal branches are grow aerially for some time and arc downwards to touch the ground. These branches are touch the ground and produce advanced roots. Okay, these the nearest to the soil branches are grow aerially for some time and arches downwards to touch the ground. Where the branches are touch the ground, produce some advanced roots. Okay, the remaining stem is grow aerially. Understand? This type of branches are touch the ground and produce some advances root. This branch is known as a stolon. Understand? If this stolon is break down and separated from the mother plant, it lives as a individual plant. Individual plant by the presence of the advances root, where the branch touches to the ground. Understand? So this type of vegetative propagation is especially found in jasmine. Understand? Another one, nerium odorum, ganneru, nerium. Next one, mint. That means pudina. Okay. In this type of jasmine, nerium and mint mainly reproduce their offsprings by the vegetative propagation method. Understand? This type of branches are known as stolons. Okay. Next one, sucker. Sucker means it arises from the underground part of the stem. Underground part of the stem. That means the underground part of the stem arises lateral branches. Lateral branches. These branches are grow horizontally beneath the soil. Horizontally beneath the soil, and then comes out obliquely upwards. Obliquely upwards. And produce new shoots are produced from this. New shoots are produced from this. Basically, the first one, these branches are arised from the underground part of the stem, and these underground part of the branches are grow first horizontally beneath the soil, and then comes up out of the obliquely upwards and produce new branches or new shoots. These branches are known as suckers. These were producing obliquely upward producing branches are consist numerous advances roots. Understand? Numerous advances roots are arising from the lateral branch, underground part of the stem branch. Okay, in these branches detached from the mother plant, it lives as a individual plant. It lives as a individual organism. Okay, this type of suckers are also helpful for vegetative propagation. Even already banana. Okay, the smallest plants comes from the base of the pseudo node. Understand? Pseudo node. Okay, because the newly comes from the ground plants are mainly there are suckers. You know pineapple చుట్టూ కూడా మనకి smallest plants produce అవుతుంటాయి. These are suckers. Okay, next one, this one is the chrysanthemum, chamanti. The chrysanthemum lateral branches are arised from the underground part of the stem. Okay, these branches are known as suckers. Okay, these in the banana and pineapple and chrysanthemum plants, the lateral branches are consist of some advances roots. Okay, these branches are detached from the mother plant. They live as an individual plant because of the presence of advances roots. Understand? Okay, this type of lateral branches are mainly produced from the underground part of the stem. Remember this one, underground part of the stem. Okay, example banana, pineapple and chrysanthemum. offset. Okay, offset. It is a short horizontal branch of one internodal length. One internode. This one is node. This one is node. In between two nodes, region is known as internode. So it has a short horizontal branch of one internodal length. One internodal length. Next one. It is found in basically hydrophytes. Okay, aquatic species. Hydrophytes, freely floating organisms. Like Pistia, this one is the Pistia, and Eichhornia, this one is the Eichhornia. Okay, it bears a rosette of leaves at each node. Each node of these hydrophytes like Pistia and Eichhornia consist rosette of leaves, around rosette of leaves at each node, and tuft of balancing roots. This means these are the balancing roots. Tuft of balancing roots. Okay, tuft of balancing root from the base of the discoid stem. Discoid stem. This discoid stem, base of this discoid stem consists of balancing root. You already discussed in our root modification, balancing root. Okay. Next one, the hydrophytes especially consist of root pockets at their tip of the root, not root caps. The root pockets are present at the tip of these hydrophytes like Pistia and Eichhornia. Basically, the internode, every nodal region bears a rosette of leaves at each node, and a tough balancing roots are arise from the base of the discoid stem. If these internode is break down, and each nodal region live as individual plants, because it consists of tough balancing roots and also rosette of leaves are present. Okay, in this way, this offset or reproduced their offsprings by the vegetative propagation method. This Eichhornia is also breakdown internode. Internode evana break aithe every nodal region will be separated and grow as individual organism. Understand? So this type of hydrophytes, internodal, one internodal length is known as offset. Next one, another one, one of the terrestrial organism also reproduced their offsprings with the offset vegetative propagation. That one is Agave americana. Agave species is also reproduced by their offsprings with the presence of offset. Understand? Another modifications are aerial stem modifications. You already know subaerial stem modification and underground stem modification. Another one, aerial stem modification. What are the aerial stem modification? Stem tendril, thorns, phylloclad, cladophylls, and bulbils are the aerial stem modification. The first one is stem tendril. Okay, tendrils are the slender, spirally coiled structures. Slender and spirally coiled structures are the tendrils. Tendrils are developed from either axillary like cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, or terminal grapevine. Okay, these tendrils are developed from either axillary bud or terminal bud. Understand? Next one, tendrils are helps in climbing because the stem is very weak stem. Okay. Because of this reason, the tendrils are developed from either axillary bud or terminal bud, helpful for climbing. Okay, in cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon. Tendrils are developed from axillary bud. It is very, very important variation. Cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, tendrils are developed from axillary bud, but in grapevine, tendrils are developed from terminal bud. Okay, in grapevine, terminal bud is developed into tendril, but in cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, axillary bud is developed into tendril. Suppose this one is cucumber. In this cucumber, axillary bud developed into tendril. Suppose this one grapevine, the terminal bud is developed into tendril. Understand? Okay. In this way, the tendrils are very slender and spirally coiled structures helpful for climbing. These are either developed from axillary or terminal buds. It is helpful for climbing. Another one, thorns. Okay, thorns are woody, straight, and pointed structures. Thorns are woody, straight, and pointed structures. Pointed structures are called thorns. Next one, these thorns are protected plants from the grazing animals. Okay, herbivorous animals, grazing animals. ఏవైతే ప్లాంట్స్ వాటిని తింటూ ఉంటాయో ఆ గ్రేజింగ్ యానిమల్స్ నుంచి దీస్ థార్న్స్ ఆర్ హెల్ప్ఫుల్ ఫర్ ప్రొటెక్ట్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ వన్, థార్న్స్ ఆర్ బియర్స్ లీవ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్లవర్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో. సమ్ లీవ్స్ అండ్ ఫ్లవర్స్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో present on the thorns. Because of the reason, thorns are one of the stem modification. Okay, because of the presence of some leaves and flowers on the thorns, you are considered the thorns are the stem modification. Understand? Next one, thorns are developed endogenous. Thorns are endogenous origin. Thorns are endogenous origin, not exogenous origin. They are endogenously developed. Next one, thorns developed from either axillary or terminal buds of the stem. Axillary or terminal buds of the stem. Suppose citrus and bougainvillea. Citrus and bougainvillea. In this citrus and bougainvillea, the thorns are mainly developed from axillary bud. Crescia and pomegranata. Crescia and pomegranata species. The thorns are mainly developed from terminal bud. The terminal bud is developed into thorns in pomegranata and carissa. Another stem, aerial stem modification, that one is phylloclad. In this, phylloclad are flattened, like in Opuntia. Okay, phylloclads are very flattened, or cylindrical, like euphorbia. In euphorbia, these are flattened. Understand? Flattened or cylindrical. These are flattened in Opuntia, cylindrical in their shape in the Euphorbia poinsettia. And also these are the green in their color because of the presence of chlorophyll. So they are fed from photosynthesis activity. Understand? Because of the presence of chlorophyll in these phylloclad, there are also fed from photosynthesis. Next one. In Casuarina, phylloclad is a needle-like structure. Remember this one? In Casuarina, survey chettu అని చెప్పేసి అన్నాం కదా. There are especially found in coastal region like oceans, nearest to the ocean. Oh, okay. In this way, in the Casuarina, phylloclads are needle-like structures. They are also green in their color, fed from photosynthesis activity. The leaves are reduced to scaly leaves. Scaly leaves. Okay. The leaf function is performed by the needle-like phylloclad aerial stem modified organ. Understand? Because there are leaves some drought areas. Next one. The leaves are modified into scales or spines to reduce the water loss through transpiration process. Because the water is little amount of water is available to this plant. Because of this reason, the plants are reduced water loss through transpiration process. Because of this reason, the leaves are modified into either scaly leaves or spines. You know, thorns are the stem modification. Spines are the leaf modification. These are the main difference between thorns and spines. Understand? Okay, spines are the leaf modification. Sometimes the leaves are also modified into scaly leaves. Because this phylloclad modification is especially found in drought plants. Okay, drought plants, xerophytic plants. Next one, the leaves are modified into scales and spines to reduce the water loss, mainly reduce the water loss through transpiration process. Because of this reason, the leaves are modified into scales and spines. Next one, the leaf performing photosynthesis activity is done by the stem. Because of this reason, the stem is modified into green and flatted structure in Opuntia and green and cylindrical structure in Euphorbia from photosynthesis activity. Understand? Suppose this one, Opuntia. Okay, the leaves are modified into spines. These are modified into spines. Okay, leaves are modified into spines. In this Euphorbia, leaves are also modified into spines at the marginal structure of the Euphorbia. Marginal structure of the Euphorbia. Understand? Another one, chlorophyll. Okay, chlorophyll. In this chlorophyll, the branches of a limited growth modified to perform photosynthesis. The lateral branches are grow limited branches. Limited growth is present. They are modified to perform photosynthesis activity. The leaves are modified into either scaly leaves or spines. Okay. So the branches of a limited growth modified to perform photosynthesis in asparagus species. That modification, limited growth modification and the asparagus that are called phyllocrine. Aerial stem modification, that one is bulbils. Okay, bulbils are the modified vegetative or floral buds. Vegetative or floral bud is modified into bulbils. These bulbils are storage food materials. Remember this one, storage food materials, and these bulbils are helps in vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation. Suppose this one is the Dioscorea axillary bud. The axillary bud storage food materials. Axillary bud storage food material and forms a one tuber. Okay, storage accumulation of the food material. The axillary bud modified into some tuber-like structure. This one is called bulbils. Understand? These bulbils are detached from the mother plant. These bulbils are detached from the mother plant. Suppose these bulbils are detached from the mother plant. It produces some advanced root. And leaves some other plant like Dioscorea. Understand? So these bulbils are accumulation of the food material. This means there is storage of food materials. If these bulbils are detached from the mother plant, they produce some advanced root and produce a new individual plant. So bulbils are mainly helpful for vegetative propagation. Understand? Next one, in Dioscorea, why vegetative bud is modified into bulbil. Vegetative bud is modified into bulbil in Dioscorea. But in Agave americana, Agave species, the floral bud is modified into bulbils. Floral bud modified into bulbils. Vegetative bud is modified into bulbil and Dioscorea. Understand? Another type of aerial stem modification, that one is hooks. These are also known as prickle or hooks. Okay, these hooks are mainly developed from cortex, internal structure of the stem, cortex and epidermis. Epidermis nunchi gaani cortex nunchi gaani develop avvachu. They are found at the node or internodal region. Nodal region or internodal region, these hooks are developed. Next one, they are helpful for climbing, like tendrils. Like tendril, these are also hooks are also helpful for climbing. The next one, hooks are developed exogenous. This means exogenous origin. Exogenous origin. The next one, the best example for hooks, rose flower containing some hook-like structures. Next one, Smilax jalanica, Smilax species. These are also consist some hooks for climbing. These are the different types of stem modifications. The stem modifications are mainly categorized into three. There are underground stem modification, subaerial stem modification, aerial stem modification. Underground, beneath the soil, and subaerial, it is not completely underground, not completely aerial, it is surface of the soil. Next one, aerial, above the ground. Okay, underground stem modifications are mainly categorized into stem tuber, rhizome, comb, bulb. Stem tuber, potato example. Okay, the lateral branches emerge into the soil and accumulate food materials, become swollen. This type of tubers are stem tubers. They possess some node-like eye structures. Next one, rhizome. It is horizontally grow in the soil and also distinguished into nodes and internodes. Every nodal region consists of scaly leaves. The axillary region of the scaly leaves consists of axillary and also terminal buds. Best example: Gingiber officinalis, turmeric, curcuma longa, kenna, and also water lily. Next one, comb. The underground stem is vertically grow in the soil and also distinguished into nodes and internodes. Every nodal region consists of scaly leaves and also axillary bud. Auxiliary bud forms daughter combs. If these daughter combs are detached from the mother plant, there are live as individual like colocasia, alocasia, and German-Merkant. Okay. Next one, bulb. Bulb is also underground. The stem is underground, reduced and disc-like structure. On this disc-like structure, stem shows some fleshy leaves, fleshy leaf base. Leaf bases are consist. In this bulb, you are only edible portion is leaf bases because there are accumulated food materials. Example: onion and also garlic. Next one. These are the different types of underground stem modifications. Okay. The next one, subaerial stem modification. Subaerial stem modification. These are also categorized into runner, stolon, sucker, offset. Runner, stolon, sucker, offset. Runner, it is a creeper on the soil surface. Every nodal region consists advances roots. Above the nodal region consists normal leaves. Example: oxalis and doob grass. Okay. Next one, stolon. Best example: jasmine, stolon. Okay. Some branches are touch the ground and produce some advances roots. Okay. These branches are known as stolons. Example: jasmine and faragris. Okay. Next one, suckers. Suckers are the branches are developed from the underground part of the plant axis. Okay. These are horizontally and vertically, obliquely upwards to the ground and produce some advances roots. If these branches are detached from the mother plant, they live as individual plant. Example: chrysanthemum, chamanti, mint. Okay. Pudina, pineapple, you already know, and banana. These are the best example for suckers. Next one, offset. This is especially found in hydrophytes like Pistia and Eichhornia. Okay, it is a single internodal length. Every nodal region above the nodal region consists a tough rosette of leaves are present. Below the nodal region consists a tough balancing roots are present. Okay, these are the different types of subaerial stem modification. Another one, aerial stem modification. Okay, these are completely aerial. That means aerial means exposed to atmosphere. Okay, understand? These aerial stem modifications are furtherly divided into stem tendril and phylloclad, cladophyll, thorns, bulbils, and hooks. Okay, first one, stem tendril. Stem tendril. Okay, this means tendrils are modification of the stem. Okay, the stem modified tendril is known as stem tendril. Example: passiflora, cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, grapevine, etc. etc. In this stem tendril, either axillary or a terminal bud modified into tendril. But in passiflora, cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon species, the axillary bud is modified into stem tendril. But in grapevine, the terminal bud is modified into tendril. These tendrils are mainly helpful for climbing because the stem is very weak. Understand? Next one, phylloclad. The phylloclad means nothing but lateral branches. The stem is green and flatted or cylindrical structures and perform photosynthesis activity by the presence of chlorophyll. This means that the stem is very green in their color, perform photosynthesis activity. Example: Opuntia, it is flatted structure, and Euphorbia, it is a cylindrical structure, and also Casuarina. Okay. Next one, cladophyll. Cladophyll. In this cladophyll, it is a limited growth branches.
These are also green in their color, perform photosynthesis activity. Example, asparagus. Next one, toads. These are woody, spine and pointed structures. Okay, these are helpful for production from the grazing animals. Grazing animals like carissa, bougainvillea, citrus and pomegranate. Okay, next one, bulbils. These bulbils, these are auxiliary bird. This means auxiliary bird is modified into storage food material and modified into bulbil. Okay, this bulbil, it is a storage of food material. If this bulbil is detached from the mother plant, it produces some advances root leaf as an individual organism. Example, Dioscorea and Agave americana. Next one, last one, hooks. Hooks. Okay, the hooks are also one of the aerial stem modification. These are either modified to axillary or terminal or internodal regions are also produced this type of hook-like structures. Example, rose, you know already, rose flower, rose, and Smilax jalanica. These are also produced some hook-like structure helpful for climbing. Okay, thanks for watching.